In this example of sum and difference identities involving cosine, we are going to be given sine of some angle is going to equal negative 5/13 in quadrant 4. Sine of a different angle is equal to 4/5 in quadrant 2. And from that given information, we go on to try to figure out what cosine of angle A plus B is and cosine of A minus B. Now, at no point are we actually going to figure out these angle measurements. We're just going to be creating a triangle, filling in the rest of the values, and applying the formulas. All right, so first one is let's draw a picture. So we got, we'll draw a triangle, quadrant 4, and this is angle A. We'll draw another triangle, quadrant 2. That's angle B. So quadrant A, sine is negative 5/13. And if you do Pythagorean theorem, or you recognize that this is a 5, 12, 13 triangle, we're going to get that length to be 12. And then here we have opposite over hypotenuse, 4 and a 5, or if you do Pythagorean theorem, or you recognize that this is a 3, 4, 5, and it's a direction, so we're heading back, so it's a negative 3. So that's it. That's literally all we need is these triangles, and we're just going to be basically applying these formulas. So first one is we're going to do cosine of A plus B. Cosine of A plus B is cosine of A times cosine of B. Which one we're doing? Plus, so minus sine of A times sine of B. So cosine of A is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 12/13 times cosine of B, negative 3/5. So, and then we're going to have minus sine of A is negative 5/12. Sorry, negative 5/13 times, let's do this, sine of B is 4/5. Okay, so this is going to get us a negative 36 over 65. Multiply that, and then minus a negative, that's going to become a positive 20 over 65. And if you add these two pieces together, that's going to get you a negative 16 over 65. And that is the angles. Again, we don't even know the angles, but if you added them together, that's the value that you get out. All right, and then if we do cosine of A minus B, we're looking at cosine of A times cosine of B plus sine of A times sine of B. So they're really the exact same values, so you're going to get 12/13 times negative 3/5. The only difference is, since we're subtracting the angles, the formula we're going to use is going to make it an addition. So we're adding rather than subtracting, but it's still the exact same. Negative 5/13 and 4/5. So we still get negative 36/65, but this time we don't have a negative and a negative to cancel, so it's actually, now we're going to subtract 20/65 or add a negative 20/65, whatever you think is easier. So that adds up to negative 56/65. Now, the only thing you got to kind of be careful for, if you know you went in a bad direction, is no matter what these angles are, we have no idea what these angles are, but remember that cosine and sines range between, when you plug in a value, the output that you get is going to be somewhere between a negative 1 and a positive 1. So this is still within that range of negative 1 and positive 1. So that's a good sign. If we had that flipped, or we had the numerator bigger than the denominator, something went wrong. So just to kind of double check that all feels good. So it's between negative 1 and positive 1, so we're probably okay. All right, so that was a couple examples of given some information, having to draw some triangles, and then just applying the formulas. All right, thanks.